What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. We got some news here about the PlayStation 6 launch date and in general from the CEO himself, Hiroki Totoki. And it's what I've been telling people. Like, anybody that was thinking that PlayStation was coming out in 2027 does not really understand what's going on the market. I said there's no way that's possibly going to be happening. So we're going to be getting into this. Are we ready for this? Become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, subscribe. Let's go. It says Sony holds off on PlayStation 6 launch date, and that makes sense. And we know one of the main things is going to be also component costs, because the market is not getting any better at the moment till it crashes in probably 2028. And Sony also said that they were going to stop supporting disc in 2028 as well. This gives you the idea that PlayStation 6 launch is going to be in 2028. Now today it is confirmed again that they are holding off. It says here in a Wall Street Journal interview, zoom in again for you guys, in a Wall Street Journal interview, Hiroki Totoki explained Sony's focus on long-term strategy. So we see long-term strategy focus he's talking about for the next PlayStation, while shifting toward entertainment like games, movies, music, and anime. I don't know if you guys know, but 60% of Sony's company now is PlayStation. That's how big it is now, and that's how much money it makes them. Sony's always been multi-conglomerate, but there used to be bigger parts of Sony that were making more money than gaming. We know movies has always been there, music, you know, all that type of stuff. And, you know, they have a lot of investments in anime. So him telling you this right here is basically saying there's a long-term plan with PlayStation and all of these sections together. This will all be in there where you can access it. The company plans to expand major franchises across divisions, such as turning hit games into films and TV shows. Now, we know Sony does this, but they have a balance and it's actually successful. When you see Microsoft talk about this, I'm like, I don't know why you're doing that, but your franchises are failing. Usually you turn something into a movie and TV show when your franchises are big and they're actually like blowing up. You know what I mean? You don't do that when they're not doing that. That means you need to work on your gaming worlds to get them back in the spotlight. Then you do that at the same time. Now, Fallout did very well commercially, and it's always been well, but Microsoft had nothing to do with that. That was already going on before they got them, so I wouldn't really consider that a Microsoft TV show. It's like, no, you what did you do to develop a good Fallout game? You haven't done that. When Sony says major franchises, they're talking about franchises they have that they work together with those developers. Nintendo's doing the same thing, and they do really well at the box office. So we know that they're going to be working on this as well. Films and TV shows. This is right here in front of you. Players have mixed feelings. Some appreciate the wait since the PlayStation 5 still feels fresh. Yeah, it has another 2 years in it easily. While others worry about a digital-only design without disk drive options. Yeah, we're going to have to find out whether they're going to give you that option or not. That's not confirmed. He didn't say anything about that. So what do you guys actually think about this? I think it's good that the PlayStation 6 launch is not coming next year. And I've been saying that, like, all the writings have been on the wall. So let's go down and see what he said in other aspects. It says Sony still hasn't decided when the PS6 will launch. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki explained that the company is still working on its long-term strategy as it prepares for the next generation of PlayStation. See, when you say you're preparing, you still haven't got the component costs, put it together, coming out on this Wall Street Journal interview saying we're about to get ready next year to start working on making the prototype console to where we can send them out a dev kit and they can test that. You didn't say nothing about that. You have to prepare for that. So this gives you the idea of not 2027, right? Like he says, we're preparing. Totoki said Sony is becoming less dependent on hardware and is putting more focus on its entertainment business, including games, movies, music, and anime. We know that because we know that PlayStation 5 sales are going to slow down at the moment. So if they're going to continue making a ton of money, it's going to have to be in other sections until the PS6 launches. That's basically what he's saying. Used to be back then where there was a big thing. But now you have subscriptions, models, digital stream, cloud, all that type of stuff. And he's basically talking about that. Sony wants to make better use of its major franchises across different parts of the company. So that means not just the franchise being a game, but also being a movie. They're going to have music aspects in it and maybe turn them into animes rather than just real life movies and TV shows as well, such as turning successful games into movies and TV shows. You see, what he's saying here is the difference between PlayStation and Xbox. It's turning successful games, right? Microsoft can't make a Halo series anytime soon. And when they did it, it was actually mid. The reason why is because Halo's not successful at the moment. Gears, we're going to have to see what happens with that, right? But they'll probably do one. Fallout is different. I've already explained that, but that's Bethesda. So that's one article right here where he's saying, if you keep going down, he doesn't say much, by the way. These are just little snippets right here. Then it says right here, Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki told Wall Street release date for PlayStation 6 still hasn't been decided, basically internally. Global component shortage has created problems for the company, right? They can't. I think he says why they can't, right? The whole thing of ending physical games dilemma, the last TV isn't players need is another console. I don't know what the hell this guy's saying. When he says they can't even decide what ownership means and have delivered a failure. Okay, that's not what I'm really looking for. Shut up with that. I'm getting tired of that. So basically, we're kind of seeing the same thing here. It says memory chip shortages and rising costs are affecting PlayStation 6 planning. Just trying to look for the most, highlighted stuff to talk about. But that's the thing. We knew this was going to happen, right? So if you're saying this right now, and this is August 17th, 2026, what this means is that you're not paying or overpaying for overpriced chips to be able to start manufacturing and even getting the dev kit available. Because once you get the dev kit available, like I said, that's the first thing they send out to developers. You kind of get like this prototype PlayStation 6. It doesn't look finished, but you can start testing it so that you could get feedback from devs on what you want to fix, what needs to be done, and how things are going to be working. Sony hasn't even gotten to that phase yet. In order to get to that phase, you have to get it finished. If you haven't did that, that means you're still planning. So I'm telling you right now, it's not happening until 2028 and maybe summer or fall. But you had a lot of people still making posts like TMFC games or whatever. I was talking about 2027. I'm like, dude, how can you not see it? It's not going to happen. And that's a good thing. Take your time. So it seems like what they want to do is they want to finish the PlayStation 5 generation pretty strong with a lot of games. And then we know what they're going to do like they did with the PS4. They've done the PS3. Think about it. You know how Last of Us, Uncharted, and all them, when you went to PS4, you had like a Last of Us remaster. They're going to do the same thing with PlayStation 6. You're going to see intergalactic PS6 version, or probably some stuff added into it. You're going to see Spider-Man 3 PS6. You're going to probably see Venom. You're going to see Wolverine PS6. Maybe like Bloodborne remake next gen. Some PlayStation revival IPs or sequels to that. They're going to have PS6 aspects. And it's going to be something like that. I'm telling you, there's going to be games you're going to want to play. And they're only going to be in the PlayStation 6 ecosystem. You'll probably see Uncharted next gen or an Uncharted remake PlayStation 6. And then you'll see like cloud features where like you can only download this part of the game. And it only takes up this much of your storage. And you're going to be able to play the game without fully downloading it. And Sony's going to have some next gen features, obviously with the controller, with the UI interface, probably take share playing to another level again and have some other aspects. They usually do a really good job with that. Whereas like in the Xbox world, it was kind of lame because when you got the Series X, not only did it not have any exclusives and they delayed Halo a year, you didn't even get a next gen dashboard. The controller was pretty much the same. The UI did not feel unique or anything. So you're kind of just taking use of Game Pass. But if you had a PC, you're like, oh, I could do that right now. The only thing was, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, for $500, this is a good deal, rather than trying to get a PC, you know, from an equivalent standpoint. But Sony was basically embarrassing them, because it's like, not only did you have that, but you had a $399 digital PlayStation 5. It was only $100 more than the Series S, but it was outperforming the Series X. But Sony wasn't making a whole lot of digital. They were making more of the $499 disc models. This time around, we know it's going to be different, because the PlayStation 6, and we're going to start talking about the price, what I think, like I said, $800 probably, or $700. I don't think they're going to go past more than that. They're already letting you know, when it comes to component costs, we're not trying to oversell PlayStation 6. We need this to be successful. We need to think about this very carefully, right? This is right here in front of you. You're kind of seeing that. And I literally just woke up, so excuse me for the yawning, but yeah, that's pretty much right there in front of our face. But yeah, you're gonna like see that with the PlayStation 6. Sony basically deciding what they want that price to be and how they're going to subsidize. But since it's going to be diskless only, which I was going to get back to, it's going to be cheaper. You can't launch it with a disk drive, because you would have to charge more money. But what they should do is just give you an optional disk drive that could be added on through USB or whatever, or used through USB. And with that, you would be able to play your PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 games, and whatever games were coming out before 2028. Because if you're still going to support physical games before 2028, that's what they said, it's going to be able to have that, then you should be able to have an option for that after 2028. That's why I think that when it comes to the PS6, they should just have an optional disk drive option. And if they do that, they're actually going to be in a better situation to deal with less complaining. Either way, I think the damage is going to be small. It's not going to be as huge as people think, because you can already see how it's dying down right now. Now, clicking on this, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these comments. We're going to start seeing stuff like this. There won't be a console physical disc. PlayStation 6 will be an arcade connected to a cloud. That's hilarious. There's no reason for a new console generation. We're at the peak of graphical fidelity. Hardware is at its highest price ever, with no reason to go down in the next 4 years. 4 years? What are you talking about? No, bro. 2028, I'm telling you. Sony, we haven't decided on a launch window for the PlayStation 6. Gamers, makes sense. We're still waiting for the PlayStation 5 to get its first 5 exclusive games. Honestly, fair play. They've been launching tons of exclusives. What the hell are you talking about? So Sony is only going to release games on their own console that they will no longer make, nor make disc for. How is this any different than Origin? What are you talking about? You what, coming to PC? There's no disc on PC. That's a stupid comment. Doesn't make any sense. They only ever went on Steam. What? Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell me. I was like, what are you talking about? So yeah, we kind of get an idea of what's going on here. There's not that many comments on this post. Actually, just went live probably about not too long ago. If we go down here, Sony holds off on PlayStation 6 launch date. It only has 245 posts at the moment. It's actually still kind of rising up at this moment. But here it is right here. Let me know what you guys actually think about this. Are you excited for the PS6 launch? I think at the moment, you're always going to have people that are going to just come in with the no disc, no buy. But then at the end of the day, we're looking for honest reflections here, because most people that were digital only are going to have the same feelings, right? Mines haven't changed, because I haven't bought physical in a while. And I think it's annoying, and it takes up space and cramps up my hallway or whatever, or wherever you put all those games. It's like, I don't want that, because that's, to me, is a lot of clutter. Digital to me is space efficient, and that's one thing I like about it. And as far as like ownership is concerned, I don't believe in owning anything in a dream, because you have to let it all go anyways. But other than that, become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. And I would say what I'm going to tell you, just like I said before, PlayStation 6 is not going to be $1,000. Sony is not going to sell it that high. There's no way. And it's going to destroy the Xbox Helix in sales. It's not going to be a competition. PlayStation 6 will be very relevant. And over time, it will get cheaper. It's not going to be like this generation. Sony knows they can't afford to have the PlayStation 6 fail. So they're going to subsidize, I'm telling you. And with going down a digital only route, you're going to make more money. It's just the way the market works. And you wonder, are they going to put games at $80? That's another thing I have to talk about probably one time, but not at the moment. All right, y'all. Peace out.